The Croth 9 had swept through 17 galaxies in less than a century. Their crystalline warships, powered by harvested stellar cores, could fold space itself into weapons. Civilizations that had stood for millions of years crumbled before them like sandcastles before a tsunami. The Croth 9 didn't negotiate. They didn't enslave. They simply erased. Commander Zaltoran stood on the bridge of the flagship Eternal Dominion, watching the scanners display yet another doomed system. This galaxy, the humans called it the Milky Way, would fall within weeks. His mandibles clicked in satisfaction. 37 inhabited worlds detected. Primitive. Scattered. No unified defense grid. Lord Commander, his tactical officer chittered, we detect a single vessel approaching our position. Zaltoran's 6 eyes narrowed. One ship. Affirmative. Human designation, UCNS Defiance. It's, requesting communication. Amused, Zaltoran activated the channel. A human female appeared on screen, her dark uniform bearing unfamiliar insignia. She looked impossibly young, impossibly calm. I am Captain Elena Vasquez of the United Colonies, she said. You need to turn around. The bridge erupted in clicking laughter. Zaltoran silenced them with a gesture. You face the Croth 9 Armada. We have obliterated species older than your sun. Withdraw now, and we may grant your world a swift end. That's the thing about humans, Vasquez replied, a strange smile crossing her face. We don't know when to quit. Defiance, Fire Solution Aleph. The human ship, barely a tenth the size of the Eternal Dominion, unleashed something Zaltoran had never seen. Not plasma. Not antimatter. Not anything in their vast database of galactic weaponry. The projectile moved at impossible speeds, warping space around it. When it struck the Croth 9 shields, reality itself seemed to scream. The shields that had withstood supernova-level energies simply stopped existing. The hull beneath peeled away like wet paper. Impossible. Zaltoran shrieked. What is that weapon? We call it the causality hammer, Vasquez said calmly. Turns out when you're a young species constantly at war with yourself, you get creative with physics. We asked ourselves, what if we could make matter forget it ever agreed to hold together? Zaltoran's tactical officer was screaming damage reports. 17 ships disabled. The weapon is spreading through our quantum-linked hulls. Our own technology is being used against us. Of course. The Croth 9 had linked their entire fleet through quantum entanglement for instantaneous coordination. The humans had turned their greatest strength into a vulnerability. One shot was cascading through the entire armada. You should have studied us better, Vasquez continued. We're persistence hunters, Commander. We track prey for days until it collapses from exhaustion. We're the species that looked at controlled nuclear fusion and said, but what if we made it portable? We've been preparing for something like you since we first looked up at the stars and wondered what nightmares might be looking back. Zaltoran watched his fleet, the fleet that had conquered galaxies, disintegrating around him. How many of those weapons do you have? On this ship? 7 more rounds. In the solar system? 300 warships with full loadouts. Humanity spent the last 50 years building a defense network while pretending we couldn't even reach our neighboring stars. We learned deception from each other, Commander. We're very, very good at it. The Eternal Dominion shuddered as another cascade failure rippled through its systems. Zaltoran made a decision that no Croth 9 commander had made in 1,000 years. I surrender. Vasquez's expression didn't change. Smart. Here are our terms: you will share every scrap of knowledge about other threats in the universe. You will help us prepare. And you will never, ever underestimate humans again. We might be young, but we've been fighting monsters our entire existence. The only difference is that until now, all those monsters were us. Zaltorin looked at the young human captain and felt something ancient and terrible stir in his genetic memory. The primal fear of prey, realizing it has met a predator it cannot comprehend. Humanity had been tested by itself for millennia, forged in the fire of its own brilliance and brutality. The Croth Nine had made the fatal mistake of thinking primitive meant weak. They would never make that mistake again.